sunset. Congratulations are in order after successfully bringing that Long Beach wise guy to justice. Your victory is only slightly tainted by the fact that Jack Dragna lawyered him up as fast as whiplash. That mafia shyster walked through the front door, spouted off some legal mumbo-jumbo, and just like that, Muggs was out on bail. I'd like to know what Dragna has on Judge McPherson that he'd rubber stamp a murderer walking free like that. And no matter, 'cause karma came calling for Mr. Charlie Muggs pretty damn quick. At 11:35 p.m., beat cops responded to a routine noise complaint at a flop house off Sunset Boulevard, belonging to none other than Hollywood's most notable madam, Brenda Allen. No surprise there, given the shindig she throws on a weekly basis, but when they checked the alleyway behind her joint, guess who they should find with his insides all over the concrete? None other than Charlie Muggs. He was shot multiple times. Someone wanted to make sure he never woke up from his big sleep. A bunch of 9mm Luger shells were found sprinkled around his body like fairy dust. I don't have to tell you that the Luger isn't exactly the weapon of choice here in sunny L.A. Normally, we wouldn't give two shakes about a mafia lowlife like Muggs buying the farm, as it'll save the good people of Los Angeles a burdensome legal bill. But the chief's got a hard-on for Dragna and thinks he might be involved. Muggs was Dragna's star player down in South Bay, after all. If you've got the cojones, look up old Jackie at his mansion in Leimert Park. But a word of warning. Poke your nose too far into Dragna's business, and all you're likely to find is your own severed nose. Allen's holed up in her apartment off Alvarado. If you talk to her, use kid gloves. She's Hollywood's biggest madam, and there's no telling how deep her hooks go, or more importantly, where they go. The mob, City Hall, even the LAPD. Her black book is supposedly thicker than a California redwood, so be careful you don't dig up the wrong dirt. You should also track down your old pal D. DiCaprio. See if he's got any info on what Muggs might have been doing. I'm sure his tongue will be pretty loose after Muggs tried to pin the Horseshoe Pier murder on him. Seeing as Dragna's the one who butters DiCaprio's bread, it's a guarantee that the crime boss knows where to find him, assuming he'll even talk to you. DiCaprio's also been shacking up with some dame named Angie Dusk, so if you're quaking in your boots at the thought of talking to Dragna, you could question her instead. She lives off Redondo. Well, why are you standing around like a bunch of doe-eyed flatfoots? Put your leather to the pavement and find me Muggs' killer.
Welcome to the City of Angels. Grant Shepard has been joined by a colleague, Catherine Carter. She goes by Kat. They will be working together to solve the murder at Sunset. As a quick game note, there are 3 modes to Detective City of Angels. This one will be Sleuth Mode, where the detectives work together. They've got 9 hours to solve the case. Grant was still at the downtown headquarters, and Kat was in Long Beach. The murder was at the intersection of Sunset and Hollywood, but there were suspects near both detectives, so they began by going to interview them. Kat reached Angie Dusk and asked her about Jack Dragna.
I shouldn't be telling you this, but Dee, he gets to talking after we do the thing, and he said Mr. Dragna wanted him to kill Charlie over that Long Beach business.
Since Angie had brought up Dee, Kat pressed her about him.
Dee has been good to me ever since Charlie dumped me like a sack of potatoes. Pretty sure he's running security over at the Riviera Club right now.
Finally, Kat asked her about Brenda Allen.
Yeah, I used to turn tricks for Brenda, but I got a better gig over at Jack Dragna's outfit now, out at the Frostonia.
Grant was with Brenda Allen at that very moment, trying to get information about her business. She was icy cold to him from the get-go, informing him immediately,
I provide an important and valuable service to the affluent and influential people of this city. You would do well to remember that, Detective.
When he asked about Jack Dragna, she said,
Dragna's been trying to horn in on my business for years. When I let Angie go, he was more than happy to snap her up for his little flop house at the Frostonia. I hope she ruins it for him.
Grant wasn't getting anything new, so he tried looking around Brenda's place. And Brenda snapped.
Open that and I'll have your job, Detective.
Grant thought back about what he had been told in the briefing and decided to skip searching any further. Kat went to the Sierra Club and immediately came upon Dee guarding the door.
Haven't you bricks got your fill of me yet?
He groaned. Kat showed him the Luger shell casings to see if he had any reaction.
Bravo! You got some empty shells. What are you showing them to me for?
Kat closed them in her fist and said,
I don't know. Maybe they have something to do with the hit Dragna put out on your friend, Charlie Muggs.
Who the hell told you that? Was it Angie? When I find her, I'm gonna...
He stopped, looking at Kat and remembering himself.
I'm gonna get her some flowers or chocolates or something girls like.
Kat's fist grew tighter, but she held it in and said,
Speaking of your tight squeeze.
Poor thing. Ain't right the way Brenda treated her.
What do you mean by that?
Kat asked.
After Charlie kicked her to the curb, Angie ended up with me. I know I'm just a replacement, but for a dame of her quality, I don't care.
The conversation switched to where Muggs was killed. Dee got mouthy.
If he got shot outside of Brenda's joint, then you should be talking to Brenda. Nothing happens at her place she doesn't know about.
Kat got in Dee's face and told him he better fess up about Dragna's hit order on Muggs. Dee threw up his hands and said,
I can't say nothing about the boss. It's a murder. The code of silence. I'm as dead as Muggs if I do.
Kat stared at him a moment with serious anger. She pushed over a vase, and as it shattered, she said,
Don't you touch Angie when you get home. I'll know if you did.
And she was on her way. Grant, meanwhile, was checking out the crime scene. There hadn't been much for the police to pick up, but Grant noticed a piece of trash at the entrance to the alley. He couldn't put his finger on it, but something about it seemed important. He continued on to the Frostonia Hotel, which wasn't far away. After a long time of searching, he found a dusty custodial closet inside of which he spotted a Luger tucked inside a cabinet drawer. Someone clearly thought they had found a safe hiding place, but they hadn't. Looking around to make sure no one spotted him, he slipped the gun into his jacket pocket and left. Even though Grant had already talked to Brenda, Kat thought the madame might admit some things to a woman that she didn't to a man, so she started asking questions. She was right. Brenda was less rigid with her.
Jack's always wanted a slice of my pie, Detective. It infuriates him that he doesn't have it. He just recently purchased some property to directly compete with me, but he doesn't stand a chance.
Kat knew that Brenda wasn't telling her the whole truth, so she pressed her until Brenda relented, saying with a sigh,
Angie used to be one of my best girls. She was especially a favorite among the wise guys.
Grant was still at Jack Dragna's place, grilling him about his employees.
May I be candid with you, Detective?
Dragna said.
Muggs had been a bit of a disappointment to me, and I'm not shedding a lot of tears over his death. Read into that what you will. Since Muggs' unfortunate demise, Dee's been spending a lot of time over at Topsy's. You can probably find him there drowning his sorrows.
While Dragna took a bathroom break, Grant tried to look around his place. Dragna's thugs spotted him, and he was thrown off the property. It was just as well. Between he and Kat, they probably had all the information they needed. It was done too soon either. They were starting to get pretty stressed. They met at the downtown police station and compared notes. After looking over all the clues and interviews extensively, they believed it was Angie Dusk who used a Luger, and she did it out of anger and jealousy. Angie Dusk was in love with Charlie Muggs. She'd always had a thing for bad guys, and Charlie was as bad as they came. She was working out of Brenda Allen's whorehouse when he caught her eye. The rest was, as they say, history. Charlie had been called up by Jack Dragna to begin expanding the mafia's drug business into Long Beach, but he soon became obsessed with building his own empire and began spending less and less time with Angie. The less she saw of him, the more desperate she became. Until one day, Muggs had had enough. He walked out and threatened to kill her if she ever bothered him again. Devastated, she began seeing Dee DiCaprio instead. He was a poor replacement for Charlie, but Dee wasn't complaining. The ladies rarely paid him any attention, so becoming the main squeeze of one of Brenda's top dames was a big step for him. Charlie had been one of Dragna's most promising capos, but his handling of the Sally Foote situation had deeply disappointed the seasoned crime boss. Muggs was a liability and his usefulness had come to an end. Dragna made sure that Muggs made bail, and then he quietly instructed Dee DiCaprio to execute him. Angie, who was becoming increasingly unhinged, was working out of Brenda's one night when Charlie waltzed through the door and went up to another girl, ignoring her completely. Angie marched into Brenda's office and demanded that she throw Muggs out. Brenda had no great love for Charlie Muggs, but she wasn't about to throw out a paying customer on account of a prostitute's bruised ego. When she refused, Angie lost it and began breaking anything she could get her hands on. That simply wouldn't do. When the high and mighty come to Brenda Allen's, they weren't looking to spend top dollar on crazy. She had Angie thrown out. "Never come back, whore," Brenda said and slammed the door in Angie's face. Angie knew that Jack Dragna had just opened up a competing outfit at the Frostonia Hotel, so she went to him. Jack, more than happy to take one of Brenda's best girls away, quickly put her to work. Angie's anger at Charlie, however, deepened into a seething, all-consuming hatred. Dee, who had been bouncing back and forth between Angie and another woman named Janice, spent the night with Angie and let it slip that he was supposed to take out Muggs himself on Dragna's orders. This just infuriated Angie more. When Charlie died, she wanted, no, needed, it to be over what he had done to her, not over some inconsequential mobster spat. So, while Dee was sleeping, she took the Luger that he was constantly fawning over, the one he had brought back with him from the war, and headed back to Brenda's. This concludes Death at Sunset, the second mystery from Detective, City of Angels. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe for more mysteries, and happy gaming, everybody. Did you enjoy this video? Well, if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe and watch our other videos. Also, check out our website in the description to see what games we're developing and what we've recently released. Right now, we're preparing our Kickstarter for Sanctuary, the game of cat rescue. That link is also in the description, unless you're watching later, in which case you can hopefully go buy it. In the meantime, happy gaming, everybody.